Before we kick off this SmackDown Live review for November 6, 2018, 12 days before Survivor Series, I just want to send out from all of the Amplified unit all of our thoughts and best well wishes over to Triple H. He underwent successful surgery yesterday evening, and all is good. From what we can tell, from what Triple H has updated us with, the pec surgery went good, and Triple H tweeted out that the road to recovery starts now, and he hashtagged game time. Something tells me that road to recovery is really a road to WrestleMania, if you know Triple H. So that is awesome. I went back and watched that match. I really wanted to see where exactly he tore his pec, because it seemed to me like Shawn Michaels was in that match 95% of it. And so I finally had time to really go back, watch, and dissect it even further. Guys, I mean, you're talking about, this is when Shawn Michaels was in the corner. Triple H gets thrown into that same corner, has to dodge Shawn Michaels, hops over him, turns over the top rope and onto the outside. And when he was flipping over that top rope, you could see where that arm kind of hung onto the rope maybe 1 second too long. And it was just enough torque to pull that and tear that pec. And I saw exactly when it happened. You saw Triple H just clutching it on the ground afterwards. Michael Cole called it from the beginning. Michael Cole didn't know exactly what it was, but he did call that. He thought it was the ribs, but he knew Triple H was down and out. And then you see Shawn Michaels, a few seconds later, by The Undertaker, get thrown out from that same side of the ring. Shawn Michaels and Triple H end up talking, and you see Triple H informing Shawn Michaels that he is fucked up. And Shawn Michaels and Triple H have an extended conversation on the outside. And then from there, you still had you guys ready for this? You had over 20 minutes of match time left. It could not have come at a worse time for Triple H. Basically the beginning of this match. And you're talking about a fucking guy, when you talk warriors in this business, Mick Foley said it best. Mick Foley had a match with Triple H where Triple H basically finished the match with a hole in his calf. That's how big this gash was. It was a fucking wound. And for somebody like Mick Foley, of all people, to say he was amazed that Triple H finished the match with that kind of a wound. You're talking about a guy in a separate match that finished another match with a torn quad. Rumored to be ripped off the fucking bone, basically. And Triple H still not only finished that match, but looked like a true warrior and actually had a damn good match with a torn quad. And then you go to last Friday, where he finishes the match with a torn pec. He finishes a match with one arm, but that's not even the most impressive part. It's that he finished it with over 20 minutes of match time left. He wrestled a match with one arm for over 20 minutes with a torn fucking pec. Triple H is a fucking warrior. If this guy hasn't earned your respect, if you think he just rose to fucking stardom because who he's married to, you got another thing coming, man. This guy was becoming a superstar as Triple H before he started doing anything with Stephanie. Before any of that, Triple H was becoming one of the top heels in the business. And then you see what he did with NXT. From nothing to what it is today. And then you see what type of competitor he is. Wrestling no matter what the injury. And I promise you, not everybody is built like that. Not everybody is a true warrior. I don't mean to throw shade, but I'm gonna drop facts on this channel. Look at Big Cass. In that match with Enzo, Big Cass hurts his leg, breaks something, snaps something, fucking, who the fuck knows what he did? Maybe broke a fucking ankle. Whatever it was, Big Cass immediately slams the mat in a little temper tantrum and he storms off. Didn't finish the match. Now I'm telling you right now, from my football days, I snapped my ankle in half. I have dislocated my elbow to the point where my arm was snapped backwards in a position it should not have been. But I remember both times I told my coach, I can go, coach, I can go. And he's like, no, you really can't. Couldn't even fucking stand, but I can go, coach. Now in pro wrestling, you fucking go. To each their own. I'm not calling Big Cass a big bitch. A broken ankle, or even a fucking sprained ankle, hurts like hell. And maybe you can't, or don't want to, put any fucking pressure on that son of a bitch. But that's why Enzo and Cass are no longer friends today. A lot of people thought it was just because Enzo's annoying and Cass wanted nothing to do with Enzo. Well, that might be some of it too. But no, both tell the same story of why their friendship is no more in real life. And it's because Enzo was pissed off because he felt Cass could have at least finished the match the right way. Even if it can only go fucking 20 more seconds and they have to go home quicker. But finish the match. Don't slam your fucking hands and walk off because it was clear Cass could put pressure on that son of a bitch. Maybe it was a knee, by the way. Maybe it was a fucking Achilles or I don't know what the fuck it was. Anywhere from his knee to his fucking ankle, Cass got an injury. I remember this. And he just walked off. So he could put some pressure on it. You could go home. You could finish the match. And he didn't. And that's why Enzo got really fucking pissed off. And again, this is no shade, but some people are built differently. And then you have Triple H with a gash the size of fucking Texas finishing a match, a quad ripped off the fucking bone finishing the match, beginning of a almost 30-minute match, and your pec is torn, but I'm gonna finish this shit. Not only just stay on the outside for the 20 minutes, Triple H kept getting back in there and throwing moves the best he could. That's a warrior. That's what he is. So if Triple H in his career has not earned and gained your respect, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, man. I don't know what it takes to gain your fucking respect. This guy has gone above and beyond. And then you look at what he's done with Hall of Famers. Fucking people that Vince McMahon would never have gotten back in contact with. People that would have never been in the Hall of Fame if not for Triple H. Putting an ego aside. Reaching out to the Ultimate Warrior. Thankfully, a day before he died, he was inducted into that Hall of Fame. If not for Triple H, that would have never been. Triple H reaching out to Bruno Sammartino. And Bruno Sammartino and Vince McMahon couldn't stand each other. Triple H reached out. Bruno got into the Hall of Fame. That's what H does. He reaches out. He truly knows what's best for business, and he reaches out to people. Bret Hart has said so much shit about Triple H. Bret Hart has put Triple H in his doghouse day after day, it would seem. And Triple H is still fine with bringing Bret Hart back all of those appearances. You know damn well Triple H could have went to Vince and been like, no, hell no. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know what he says about you, about me, about Steph, about all of us? No. So, you know, this video isn't about fucking kissing Triple H's ass. I assure you, that's the last thing we do on this channel. But, you know, seeing that photo that Triple H posted up on his social media and telling everyone, hey, everything's good and the road to recovery starts now, game time. Basically, the road to WrestleMania. I love that shit, man. That is just a warrior. He is in go mode. And now all the fucking idiots out there will be going, no, Triple H, don't show up to WrestleMania, save the spot for someone else, this, that, and the fucking other thing. Bullshit. If the guy wants to have a Mania match, he's earned it. That's what these legends have earned. The Undertaker can have a match every year for the next 20 years, even if it's a 1-minute squash match, and I'm cool with that. Legends have earned that right. So Triple H can make a great storyline better than 99% of the other fucking wrestlers out there. More importantly, and most of the reason is because booking and creative is not creative. So they don't give anyone good storylines, including WrestleMania builds. But Triple H has that story already written. He is the ultimate authority figure. So you can set up so much cool shit. The problem that Triple H has had in his career and why people dog Triple H is because he goes over in situations where maybe he shouldn't. Like the WrestleMania with Sting. I believe that was WrestleMania 31, I want to say. That was in California. And Sting should have won that match. There was no reason for Triple H to beat Sting of all people. None. But we think we know why that was done. They wanted to do the next year Triple H and Stephanie versus The Rock and Ronda Rousey. But that never ended up happening. So they wanted Triple H to look really strong. And he just beat Sting the year before to take on The Rock and Ronda. But that never happened. So you were going on a pipe dream to begin with. So Sting should have just had that victory, and then you could have built Triple H afterwards. You didn't even need to build Triple H. He's Triple H. But you can think of a dozen of times where Triple H should not have beaten people. CM Punk, who I'm hard on this channel. I fucking just don't like CM Punk. His fucking attitude. I think he's an ignorant prick. I think he's an asshole of a different proportion. You know, I can respect assholes, but then there's the douchebag asshole. And that motherfucker, I just want to IBS, internet bitch slap every time I see him. But for Punk, a lot of people think Triple H had no business beating Punk. That just killed off any momentum that Punk had. There was no reason behind it. Other than what? Feed Punk to Kevin Nash at the time? I have no idea. But I hear you. There were some questionable calls when it came to Vince McMahon going over on certain individuals. That would be the only downside you could see to Triple H's career as a whole, from wrestler to office personnel. Other than that, man, this motherfucker has stepped up to the plate time and time again to make the business better. Does he continue to do that? We'll see. But I do know he's earned a right to be in any WrestleMania he wants. Not only because he's earned the right, because he is who he fucking is, and he's earned that spot, but because his storyline will always be epic. You can tell so many storylines with the top dog in the business, which is the guy running it. That's why Vince McMahon, even though he was never a wrestler, even though he was always older, his storylines were always the best because he's Vince. He owns the company. If you run the company, the stories will always be epic. So if Triple H wants to give us another epic story for WrestleMania, that's awesome. But here's where Triple H may not like it. He has to put over a talent at WrestleMania. And if he's willing to do that in 35 in New York, New Jersey, at MetLife Stadium, at WrestleMania, man, if you're willing to put over a talent, then you know what? And I'm not talking like Roman Reigns. You know, everyone was putting over Roman Reigns, Undertaker, Triple H. Everybody tried to put over Roman Reigns. It didn't fucking work because we told you from the beginning it wasn't going to work. But if you put over somebody like a fucking Almas, or maybe fucking Johnny Gargano comes out of nowhere from NXT and he starts a feud with Triple H, maybe stemming from something that happened in NXT. And obviously Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, is going to be the ultimate underdog. You could do so many cool things with Triple H still, but it can't, the finished final result can't be Triple H actually coming out in victory. I agree. But anyway, we're going off the fucking rails, 10 to 15 minutes on just Triple H, but that's the focal point of this video, so I'm not going to apologize, man. Triple H, just seeing that photo, it shows you what warriors are in this business, and I assure you guys, they are a dying breed in this business. The world is getting more pussified. By the day, fucking Men are no longer sitting like men, their fucking legs out and fucking, this is my territory, the alpha man. My grandfather used to sit down at the barbershop, legs open, fucking got the magazine out, looking at everybody that comes in. No, now you walk into the barbershop and you got the guys with their legs crossed. They're trying to take up as little room as possible. You don't know who the female is. It's either the fucking wife or the fucking douchebag sitting next to him. It's all fucking... There's no real men anymore. Everyone's pussified. It's the new culture we live in. Everyone's a fucking pansy pussy bitch. Gone are the days where motherfuckers are wrestling for half an hour with fucking muscles torn off their bone. Thank you, Triple H. Round of applause from my amplified unit. Now, there's a SmackDown review to talk about as well. I'll try to go through this fast. I got a lot to do, man, today. I really do. I know you guys do. So let's just run through this. This was a weird fucking event. A lot of people on social media loving this. It was a good SmackDown, basically. I don't know where you saw a good SmackDown. I honestly don't. Paige starts this thing off, brings out Shane McMahon, wants a picture with the trophy. Shane McMahon is like, it never really was about the trophy. It was the thought that Raw was going to beat SmackDown. So I love that character, man. He's still willing to do anything to beat his sister, to beat Raw. He brings out Daniel Bryan and he announces that Bryan is the team captain. I hate this captain shit. Who the fuck cares? You're all in the match and the captain can lose just as quick as the fifth member picked at Survivor Series. And then The Miz comes out and he's got a problem with this. Daniel Bryan, of all people, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden it's announced that Miz and Daniel Bryan will both be captains. So now we have co-captains. It's only 5 people on the team, but we got 2 captains. That's like a 50-man NFL team, 50 players, and 48 will be captains. At that point, just make the whole team captains. What the fuck? So now they're captain. That was the whole first segment. That was it. And now they're like bickering. So it's a different aspect between Miz and Daniel Bryan. I will give them that. Now they're kind of bickering. And throughout the night, they're kind of like picking who they want on their team. And on some of they're actually agreeing on some shit. So that was some fun chemistry. Because they've hated each other for so long. That now all of a sudden they're starting to agree with each other. And it just doesn't feel right. It feels like they're doing something wrong. So I do like that aspect. But the end result is still them just picking people for their team. Kind of, I don't know if that makes a good show or not, man. In fact, I wasn't too high on this show, so evidently for me, it didn't. For a lot of you guys, you loved it. It was different chemistry. It was fun to see, but I don't know about the whole captain picking wrestlers thing. It's the same thing as if Paige was to pick it, if Shane McMahon was to pick them. Backstage, by the way, their first pick, which there's only 3 picks, because it's already Daniel Bryan and Miz on the team, they both picked unanimously Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon agrees, so now there's only 2 spots left. And this brought us to Mysterio and Almas later on, where Daniel Bryan said, I want Rey Mysterio on the team. And Miz is like, I don't know about that yet, but I'll see how he does in a match later against Almas. So that's what we had. We had Rey Mysterio take on Andrade Cien Almas. And it was a good match because Andrade Cien Almas is fucking amazing. But we always know how Almas matches end, with him losing. So that's how this match ends. Rey Mysterio defeats Andrade Cien Almas. Really cool for Rey Mysterio. Really cool that we got to see Rey Mysterio versus Almas in an impromptu middle of SmackDown match, which is not where I would have placed it. But what's not so good is WWE's booking, of course. Let's just throw Almas in there, which, by the way, Andrade Cien Almas hasn't even been seen for several weeks. So you're thinking when you bring this guy back, you're going to correct the wrong that you made in the first place. Which is you made him look like fucking an idiot when you first debuted him and losing every fucking week. So now you take him off TV for a few weeks. You bring him back as a winner. That's what we thought. Nope. They threw him in there with Mysterio, and you know they're not going to have Mysterio lose already. So you knew this guy was going to lose the second he came back. And that's what happened. Guys, I can't fathom how they book Almas. And everybody is okay with it. Everyone's just telling me, well, BC, at least he's in high-profile matches. BC, he'll get his time. Are you sure of that? They told me that about Rusev. They said, BC, at least Rusev's in high-profile matches. They told me, they said, hey, BC, Rusev will get his time. Rusev never got his time. Even when he started Rusev Day and he was one of the most over things in the company, he didn't get shit. Don't tell me don't tell me Almas is gonna get his time when you don't know that. Do you know the same WWE that I know? Are you watching the same WWE that I'm watching? Do you comprehend the same WWE booking and creative that I'm comprehending? I see a guy going out there and losing every single week. I don't care who he's in there with. If it's Rey Mysterio, John Cena, the manager from Costco, the fucking cashier from Bed Bath & Beyond, or Jesus himself. It doesn't matter who Almas is in there with. At some point, you gotta start winning. All this is telling your audience is that, yeah, he can go out there and wrestle with top people, but he's just a loser. This guy is far from a loser. Andrade Cien Almas is one of the best wrestlers in this world if you give him the chance. Vince isn't high on him, though. You know, maybe Shinsuke Nakamura totally ruined it for Vince, and the not being able to speak really good English put you on the back burner. At least for Shinsuke, he got a championship, the United States strap. But if you think about it, even with that strap, Nakamura has been put on the back burner. I always forget about Nakamura, and he's a champion. That's not a good thing. Last night again, Nakamura was an afterthought. Nakamura was cutting a little promo about Rollins, I think. It was such a bad promo. I'm not even talking about English-wise. I mean, the promo itself was just bad. I would have written a totally different fucking promo if you're trying to promote something like Seth Rollins and Nakamura. I could think of so much to say in a promo. That was lackluster at its best. And obviously that's not good. But Mysterio and Almas picks up another loss. Mysterio picks up the win. Randy Orton comes out of nowhere. RKO out of nowhere. Drops Rey Mysterio. I always love RKOs out of nowhere. So that was cool. But what is this leading to? Mysterio, Orton in the future? Alright, man. I don't know. To me, Randy Orton feuds just seem stale. Randy Orton needs something more, and I can't put my finger on it, man. He needs something. There needs to be something more with Orton. I just don't know what it is. Something is missing for me. So we're going to go back to 2002, or one of those years, and we're going to have a Mysterio-Orton feud in the future. All right, I would have rather seen Almas and somebody else feud, to be honest with you, for a 2018, 2019 feud. But there's a thought. Look toward the future. So that was Almas, just collecting another loss. You want to talk about collecting a fucking loss? Let's go over to, if I may, Becky Lynch. She has a promo on Ronda Rousey. It's Becky Lynch responding to Rousey, so obviously this is kick-ass. Becky Lynch, we knew, was going to send some stingers to Ronda, and she did. And she told Ronda, I don't need your respect, I just want your arm. In other words, I'm going to snap your arm and then disarm her. So I love Becky Lynch, and then I'm sure she went on social media and blasted Ronda some more. So that was cool. At the end of her promo, Becky Lynch issued an open challenge because she was so fired up, she was ready to go right now. And Sanity comes out, and you're thinking, no, are they really going to do this? And sure enough, Nikki fucking Cross steps in front of Sanity and is once again a part of Sanity. And that was so fucking awesome, man, because that's where she belonged from the beginning when Sanity debuted. They belong together. It's who they are. And Nikki Cross is there, and you're thinking they got something special planned for fucking Nikki Cross, man. You remember her in NXT and how dynamite, man, this Spitfire was. You remember that last woman standing match that tore the fucking place down. And you're thinking they got something special. But then you're like, wait. It quickly dawns on you, she's going to take on Becky Lynch, one of the hottest things in WWE right now. They ain't having Becky lose 12 days before a Ronda Rousey match. So hopefully they have something cool planned here at the end. They have to have something creatively where Becky doesn't lose shit, but Nikki looks dynamite. Because otherwise, why are you doing this now? Unless you're just feeding Nikki Cross to Becky. And I hope to fucking the high heavens that is not the case. Right? We all hope that they're not just feeding Nikki Cross to Becky. Oh boy. We found out a few minutes later that they were feeding Nikki Cross the re-debut. Remember when Nikki Cross got called up? She was doing all the dark matches. There was that one moment where they were all the wrestlers were on the stage for something. I don't know, fucking a charity thing, I think. I don't think it was somebody fucking passed away, but it's all the wrestlers were on the stage, and there's Nikki Cross in the front for no fucking reason. She hasn't even really debuted on the roster yet, and there she is, just standing there like she's a piece of shit. And I'm like, that's how you debut Nikki Cross? Standing on the stage with everybody? So luckily they took her back off. I thought they were going to just have her come back in a month or two as fully who Nikki Cross is. But no, we find out that they brought her back just because SmackDown was in the fucking UK. Right? That's the only reason. They're in the UK, we'll get the pop, and we'll feed her to Becky Lynch. Because that's what happened. Nikki Cross, I can't make this shit up, on her debut match, eats a fucking L to Becky Lynch. But BC, this is where all the idiots come out. BC, don't worry, man. It's a high-profile match with Becky Lynch. Loss or not, at least the world now knows who Nikki Cross is. Hey, cool. And you know what else? You're a fucking idiot. You're a dipshit of epic proportions. Congrats. I'm sure your parents already know that, but go on your Facebook with your 6 friends and tell everyone. Go on your Instagram and post, I'm a dipshit. Yeah, fucker. That's what you are because you think Nikki Cross deserved to eat an L to anybody on her first match. Nikki Cross eats a fucking L. I don't care if it's to Becky. How the fuck are you booking Nikki Cross to just feed her to Becky? You want to make Becky look strong. There's a million ways to do it. You ain't got to call up Nikki Cross. Nice pop. The casual fan is like, who the fuck is this? Is she somebody? No, don't worry. She's just another wrestler. Just like Asuka. Just another one. Just a spoke on the wheel. Golf clap for Becky Lynch. What the fuck did they just do to Nikki? Don't worry, BC. She'll be back. She'll have her time. I know this for a fact. I know how WWE operates. Just like Asuka, BC. See? I told you. Asuka had her time, right? Oh, wait. No, she didn't, BC. I'm sorry. I'll get back to you, BC. Okay, you do that. You tell me when Nikki Cross gets a fucking win on her debut. I'm the first to admit, new stars don't need championships right when they arrive in the first 6 months, not even the first year necessarily. What they do need is a chance. A chance at good stories and feuds. A chance of good booking and creativity. That's all I ask for people coming in that were once really good in NXT at least, or around the world, or in an indie promotion, or ROH, or Impact Wrestling. If they were somebody somewhere else, then definitely give them a chance. Just like Almas, Nikki Cross, Vince McMahon's NXT people, especially when Triple H is away getting surgery, you know Vince McMahon is gonna stomp down on those NXT motherfuckers. You know it. Sticking with the women real quick, Paige announces the women's team. It's going to be Asuka. Wow, Asuka gets a match, sort of, kind of, right? Asuka's going to be up in there with Naomi. Naomi gets a match at a pay-per-view and another fucking schmaz match. Asuka, Naomi, Carmella, dance break. That'll be the best part of that match, I'm telling you right now. when Carmella gets in the middle and yells dance break. Because this looks like it's going to be a schmaz. Because the fourth member you got going in there is Sonya Deville. They announced Charlotte, but Mandy Rose ended up coming out. Mandy Rose talks shit to everybody. Even has a little bit of disdain for Sonya because there's some jealousy. I eliminated Sonya Deville from the Evolution Battle Royal. Why the fuck does Sonya Deville get a spot on this team? So Mandy Rose was pissed at everybody. Everybody starts jumping Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose is fucking pissed. Mandy Rose takes up off the stage. And everyone's kind of there like, what the fuck? Even Sonya Deville. Mandy Rose won't even talk to Sonya. So there's dissension there finally. I think it was time you had to break them up. I just don't know if WWE's going to have anything for them individually because they can't even think of anything to do with Naomi and Asuka and Ember and Sasha. So what the fuck makes you think they're going to give anything to Deville and Mandy? But oh wait, let me take that back. When it comes to wrestling ability, the Sashas, the Embers, the Naomis, the Askas far outweigh and outclass the Mandys and Sonya Devilles. So in Vince McMahon standards, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville will probably be catapulted to the fucking moon. Watch. So that's the women's Survivor Series match. Not really intrigued by that at all because there's no real build. What this is going to be a 5-on-5 schmaz. We'll see what the Raw women's team puts together. We have the New Day versus the Usos, just like the Riot Squad and Sasha and Bayley for the 7,650th time now. Now we get the New Day and the Usos for the 7,650th time. At least with the New Day and the Usos, we always know they're going to put on a good match, but that's the problem. That's the default match for SmackDown when they don't have creativity, which is 99% of the time. They just go back to their default. They go back to what they know they can depend on. The almighty dependable matches, which is Usos and New Day. Fuck that the fans have seen it a million fucking times, a million different ways. You need more than just, it's gonna be a good match. Okay. But why am I seeing it for the 7,650th time? Oh, I'm sorry. There's meaning behind this one. We're gonna pick the captains for the tag team elimination match at Survivor Series. That's right, a tag team elimination match. Multiple tag teams. I'm hearing as much as 5 teams apiece for Raw and SmackDown. What the fuck do we need? 20 people. This is like a battle royal schmaz at that point. This better be on the kickoff show because I'm going to make it a point to miss the Survivor Series kickoff show. I will make that a point if that fucking 10-man tag is on the pre-show, which it should be. If this 10-person 5-team versus 5-team schmaz match is on the actual pay-per-view, I'm going to be mind-boggled to the utmost degree. How the fuck are they going to make this work? This is bullshit. This is obviously why they brought up the Summer House Luchador party with their piñata. The B team will probably be in there. You're going to have the fucking Revival. You're going to just be all these fucking... The tag division is stupid bullshit already. Now we just have to see all of these bullshit tag teams together in one ring, in one match. How bad is the tag team division? Just look at how many times we're seeing the Usos in the New Day. That'll tell you. But BC, it was a good match. I know, dipshit. I've seen it 7,650 times. So I knew it was gonna be. That's like one of my favorite shows in the world, The Sopranos. And one of my favorite scenes is when Tony caught his lawyer/best friend in bed with Tony's mistress. His Goomba, his side chick. And even though it was his side chick, Tony felt something for this woman. It was a side chick, it wasn't his wife, but that was it was still his. And all of a sudden his best friend and lawyer is in bed with his mistress? So Tony beats the shit out of his lawyer friend, all over the hotel room. I fucking love that scene. That doesn't mean I needed that scene in every episode, because that would be nonsensical, redundant bullshit. You need need to create new shit. And then we went on to Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe. If they're not careful, Samoa Joe is going to end up just as stale as Randy Orton. I just don't give a fuck about Joe when the story isn't really fucking there. With AJ and Joe, I could feel that. The chemistry and the camaraderie was there between the two. When Joe is just going out there and having just matches, there's a disconnect with me. And I can't put my finger on what exactly it is. But Jeff Hardy and Joe, to me, just felt like a match. And that's with Daniel Bryan and The Miz on commentary. It just felt like a match. Samoa Joe gets the coquina clutch on Hardy. Hardy taps out. I felt that was beautifully done. Hardy gave it enough time to where he really felt like he was trying. He was too stubborn. He didn't want to give in. And finally, he had to tap out. I like the ending there. And then Samoa Joe starts kind of taunting Daniel Bryan while Daniel Bryan was on commentary. Daniel Bryan isn't one to fuck with or to taunt because he will punch you in your mouth. And Daniel Bryan got up and punched Samoa Joe in the mouth, starts beating the shit out of Samoa Joe. The Miz gets in the ring, turns Bryan around. What are you doing? Bryan's like, fuck you. Bryan starts beating the shit out of The Miz. Shane McMahon comes into the ring. Shane McMahon turns Bryan around. What the fuck are you doing? Daniel Bryan's like, fuck you too. Shoves Shane McMahon down. Looks at everybody. Samoa Joe, Miz, Shane McMahon, and Bryan storms up the rampway. And he looks back. And everyone's like, what the fuck, D-Bry? And D-Bry's like, fuck all of you. Without actually saying fuck all of you because it's still PG. But we're not PG on the Amplified channel. So Bryan's looking at him like, fuck this shit. He's all pissed off. We fade to black. SmackDown goes off the air. Not a horrible way to end SmackDown. I guess there's some intrigue there. What the fuck is happening to this team? But I don't know if this is the best selling point for Survivor Series. I would have had a little more substance to something bigger, other than just a little bit of dissension between their team. But it's what we got, so at least it's something, man. It beats the last several weeks, where SmackDown has been going off the air with Randy Orton on the turnbuckle doing his pose. And I'm like, what kind of cliffhanger is that? What kind of ending is that's going to leave us needing to tune in next week? How is that getting us excited for next week and Survivor Series? It's not. It's Randy Orton just going, and that was the build to Crown Jewel. Had nothing to do with Crown Jewel. He's just one participant in the best in the world bullshit tournament. So at least this had a little more substance as an ending. You know, it leaves you going, next week, is this even going to be a team? So that main event, by the way, guys, that was to see who the fifth member of their team was. So there was something on the line there. Hardy lost, so Samoa Joe is now on that team. So unless something changes on the go-home show of SmackDown next Tuesday, it's going to be Samoa Joe, The Miz, Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, and Shane McMahon. That is your SmackDown team. That's a pretty fucking strong team. So Raw's going to have to put together a group of badasses to take them out. And again, that was SmackDown. So this wasn't a horrible SmackDown. Not even bad. At times good, but overall, I'm just giving it a decent. Sorry, not sorry. If you go on social media, a lot of people just love this SmackDown. I'm not. With 12 days to go before Survivor Series, you need to do a lot more than what you just gave me there. You need to give me more from Almas. You need to give me more from Nikki Cross if you're going to re-debut them. Come on, bro. You can't book people like that. You can't just throw me another Usos New Day match and go, hey, as long as we give them a good wrestling match, they won't realize we're not doing anything creative. Aside from the fun bickering between Miz and Daniel Bryan, I didn't get too much from this show, guys. Decent. And that's being generous. We're going to tune in next week for sure, because these are the go-home shows to an event, a pay-per-view I'm actually looking forward to. Survivor Series should be badass when you look at these matches already, man. So I'm actually All apologies, here I am. I'm in my closing monologue. I'm going home on my promo. The video's about to end and my camera turns heel on me and just stopped working. So that was kind of fucking odd, but you want to go heel on me, you want to start a story with B motherfucking C, the Amplified Man is gonna drop that hardcore flying elbow on your fucking ass, camera. You dumb fuck. So anyway, we're gonna move on to SmackDown and Raw for next week, the go-home shows, man, and I'm really hoping that they really wake up on the right side of the bed next Monday morning and Tuesday, and they get that creative bug, man. The creative juices are flowing. The second they open their eyes, they're met with a creative punch right in the mouth. And I'm hoping we get some kick-ass shows, man. You gotta do more than just a New Day Usos match just because it's gonna be a good wrestling match and we can't get creative with anything else. You can't just bring Nikki Cross over there because you're in the UK. Fuck what that's gonna do for her career if she eats an L like that. Come on, bro. You have to do more, and I expect a lot more on these go-home shows. I'm going to shut up about it, guys, because my camera has turned heel and wants to shut off on me at random times. So I'm going to give this camera a dose of reality on who the fuck they fucking with. Amplified Man will check you guys later this week for another impromptu video, and definitely next week for the go-home shows. Until then, coffees and ass whippings, let's kick this Wednesday's ass. You want this shit, camera? You're going down!